Hi everyone, I'm back with another mediumship reading with my teacup and a couple of cards as well. And I'm going to be reading just a few different people that I see in the cup and the messages that they're trying to get across. If it is not meant for you, then it may be for someone else. So maybe just go on to the next story. I also do put timestamps into the video description. So if you want to take a look at those, you might be able to decipher right away if this may or may not be for you. I basically get channeled information from the teacups and from the symbols that pop up there and as well in my mind's eye. And I do believe that these spirits know that they will be connecting with someone in the future. The first person that I wanted to cover is a woman. She's probably an elderly woman, although she is showing me feeling very young at heart, but she is showing up as a more elderly person. Really cute, actually. She's very cute. She's sitting on, let's say, a ledge. I would almost say she's sitting on a cloud and her feet are dangling over and she's got wings on her. So she is acting like an angel. That usually says to me that she was quite religious, or the person who she's connecting with does have religion in their lives, or she was religious, because she is showing as an angel sitting on the cloud and just dangling her feet, kind of kicking her feet in a very childlike way. Very sweet energy. And she is, I'm seeing the letter M. So she could have her name with the letter M, but that's pretty general, I would say. Lots of people have the letter M. But I wanted to tell you that it is giving me the information that she may have been a Virgo, or she may have passed at that time. I think Virgo, I had to look it up. I think it's August 22nd to September 23rd, or something very similar to that. So that could have been the date of her passing, or perhaps her birthday was around that time. Maybe she was a Virgo. I believe she's showing me how she passed, and what she's showing me is colon cancer. So if it wasn't colon cancer, it was very close to that area. And I'm assuming, because I'm seeing the colon, it was cancer. It could be just related to sort of losing her ability to for her system to work, if that makes sense. I won't go too much into the description about how I'm seeing that, but she is showing me that. There's a boot in here, and if you've seen some of my other videos, you might know that my maiden name is Bootland, and it's an English name, and I have lots of different symbols of boots and shoes. And what she's showing me is this sort of little old lady boot, and she's wanting you to know that she's kicked it. So whatever that means to you, I believe it's I've kicked the cancer and now I am fine. And that's what typically a lot of spirit would want to let us know, that they are fine. She's showing me lots of space, and as I mentioned, she's sitting on that cloud, and she's just joyfully, sort of pleasantly happy, and just watching over you. She prays for you. She holds her hands. She's showing me holding her hands in that prayer position, and that makes sense that she's got this, the angel wings on her as well. So she is praying for you, and you might hear her. Because she's showing up as an angel, I almost would feel like you might hear some bells, tinker bells, almost like the character Tinkerbell. Speaking of that, I'm seeing around her, so I think related to her, are some younger symbols that I get. First of all, I'm seeing a little cherub, a little baby. It's almost like the Valentine's Day cherub. Very sweet, very young. So she may have a very young baby with her, and that could be, I don't think it's related to her. I don't think it's a baby that she lost, but it may be a baby that would be closer to you. Maybe perhaps you lost a baby, and I'm so sorry if that's the case, but she wants you to know that the baby's with her and growing up. So it's not, the baby wouldn't have been stuck at the same energy, but just wanting me to show that it's a youthful energy. And I feel like that's how she would be able to connect with this young energy, very playful, and they're a joy for each other. I almost see them both with rosy cheeks. I don't know why I'm feeling like I have to say that, but they have these like cherub looks on their faces and rosy, rosy cheeks. The baby might have had a lung issue or had problems breathing, and perhaps that's why their very short life couldn't be lived, because maybe the lungs hadn't. They weren't viable enough to be able to support breathing. Okay, so I just wanted to mention that. I'm seeing lungs as well. They're together, just so you know. And that's really what they want you to know, is that they're together, and she's watching over this baby as well as watching over you. There's another figure a little bit further in the cup. I'm not showing the cup today, or at least so far. Some of the images aren't that nice or easy to explain. There's a swan here, so very graceful. There's someone who's very graceful. Someone with a high-heeled shoe, so there you go, another shoe, and it's a really high heel, like a stiletto almost. So that usually says to me that it's someone who really liked to dress nice and look fashionable. The shoes were really expensive too, so just so that might connect you with someone who's graceful and someone who basically like strutted their stuff almost like on the runway. They're very close to them is a cardinal, and it's definitely a cardinal. And I know that sometimes if you'll see TV shows where a medium will say, if you see a cardinal, that's your loved one, or if you see this other type of bird, that's your loved one visiting you and giving you messages. I know it might sound corny, but I really do take stock in that, because over the hundreds of readings I've given in teacups, I see different types of birds, and often they're birds that I would never expect for someone to have a connection with, and they end up having a connection. This one is definitely a cardinal, so that's for me, that's a winter bird. I live in Ottawa, Canada, and that's when I see cardinals all the time. They're also they also travel in pairs, and I'm not seeing two, but I just wanted to mention that sometimes the cardinal shows up as a loved one, like a partner, like a lover. Okay, so I just wanted to mention that this person may actually be a love of someone. If it is a male, towards the woman who wears the high-heeled shoes, he's making a joke. He's basically throwing money at you. He's telling you, here's some money for your shoes. Okay, so I think that's where I'm going to go with that. I think that's just very humorous. Now I took a peek at this cup for a second before I started talking here, and I'm just trying to see if he's related to another image that I saw. I think so. This man possibly was in the Air Force or in the Army. I believe he fought in a war, and he flew in jet planes. So it's not an older war. It is a war that was more recent, like Afghanistan, that kind of thing, that kind of time frame. Now, I don't know if that's how he passed in the airplane, but I do see the jet, and it's flying up, and it does look like flames shooting out. It also could be that he parachuted. Around him, I'm also seeing lungs, and one of them looks more healthy than the other lungs. So I don't know if one was punctured or if he had an issue with his lungs. One looks smaller than the other, so therefore not as healthy as the other. Did the two of you have a dog together? He's showing me a dog that looks like a bulldog and tied to a fire hydrant. So that's a pretty, well-known symbol. Not that you would tie your dog to a fire hydrant, but is there a story to that? It's like tying them up outside of a coffee shop or something like that. He's just showing me that this dog is important and loved the dog. And wants you to know that he still has that love. I believe he did shoot guns as well. He didn't necessarily want to, but he did that for his job in the military. Perhaps that means he was actually wounded and passed away from his injuries while he was in Afghanistan or somewhere like that. I'm not sure if this is related to this man, but I'm seeing flying monkeys. So that is a Wizard of Oz symbol, and I've not had this before in a cup. So what does that mean for you? Do you have a story with the Wizard of Oz? I do myself, actually. I was deeply afraid of the flying monkeys when I was growing up and watching The Wizard of Oz. So, do you have a story with those flying monkeys from childhood? Another thing that's more recent could be the new movie that came out, Wicked. And did you go see that movie with someone very close to you, like a child or children that you had? And he was there watching over you, because in that movie they did have flying monkeys, and that is very recent, and that was quite a big movie and very popular. So I think that's almost like a protective thing. It's okay, I'm here watching over you. Don't worry about the flying monkeys. Perhaps that's also related to something to do with this jet airplane that he flew in. So please do let me know in the comments if you have a connection with this, or if you know who this might be connected to. Again, with him, he is just so peaceful. He's at peace right now. And I do believe that he does talk to you, or you do talk to him. So it's sort of a back and forth. So maybe you ask questions and you feel like he answers. That is the case. And then there's a number 3 here as well. So do you have 3 children together, or there's a number 3 of some sort, and it's repeated? So hopefully that means something to you. He may give you feathers. That's also another thing that sounds a little bit corny, but I am seeing quite a big feather here. So that could be a sign that that's your sign to see him with the cardinal and the feathers. When I first looked at the cup, I noticed my claddagh ring, which is an Celtic or an Irish connection. It's a heart with the hands around the heart. And that's, some people do wear that as a wedding ring. It's just a sign of love, and also a sign of Celtic connection or Irish connection, sometimes Scottish as well. So is there in his family or within yours? And this could also be related to, the family moving from one of those areas to North America. So he's with the ancestors who did that migration, because I am seeing migration. I just realized one of my symbols has changed into something. When I talked about the grandmother energy, who is very sweet and dangling her feet, and I mentioned that she might have had problems with her colon or with her system. Well, this, and I know it sounds funny, but now it's changed into something else, and it is, I'm not sure who it's related to, but it has something to do with an Egyptian eye. I'm just going to leave that with you. Sometimes, I don't see a full story around here, but it is that Egyptian eye. I'd have to look it up. Maybe I'll look for a picture and I'll put it up in the video just so you get a better visual on how I see this image. And what would that mean? Egyptian, some sort of fascination with all things Egypt, or a background in Egyptology. Is that the word? So I just wanted to mention that at the end here. There's a love for this eye. I'm also seeing a very tiny letter L and a heart. Okay, so I will leave the cup. Ooh. I just cut the deck 3 times. And now I'm laying out a portrait. In the middle, I have the competition card. At the top left, which is basically the card that is giving me sort of the gist of the card reading here, and it's the messenger card. So someone who was quite competitive in life is sending you a message. I want to see, usually this has something to do with someone from the teacup, and it's just another, it's just some further information from them. I'll take a picture of these cards, and as I mention them, you'll see them in the video. The person who is competitive, I think this is related to the man who was in the military. He came out really strong. He took up sort of half the cup and lots of information, but it feels like he wants to get some more information out here. It's Easter is coming up, and I think it's a really important time for your family. And he knows that basically you are setting him a seat. You see the Spirit Throne card right here beside the competition card. Well, that Spirit Throne is basically to honor someone for their service. And you'll notice right above the competition card is the service card. And boy, doesn't that make it look like someone here is of service in the military. Just from this image, this woman is obviously a medical person, and she's got a helper dog here with the cross on it. So this is a military type person. So perhaps he wants you to know that he was wounded and he did have help when he was there. Back to the Spirit Throne, though, he knows that you are going to be honoring him at the family time of Easter. So that comes back to this religion. And what's making me think is that he might be with that grandmother as well, the one who is in the teacup. It could be separate, that's for sure, but it really just feels like a family situation here. The appearance card, on the same line as the Spirit Throne, I want to say that if you are setting up a chair for him, it might actually be that you do set a table setting for him, or you have in the past and he's acknowledging that. But other than that, I just wanted to say that he is still all about his appearance, and he likes to look good and he likes to take care of himself, his soul body, if you will. He wants to let you know that he thinks of himself as quite a handsome guy, and I think he was too. And I know that that could have been a joke between the two of you too, about how much time he took to primp himself to go out and get ready. And maybe there was a joke between the two of you that he took just as long as you did. This third line here, the one at the bottom, time, play, and active love, self-preservation. This is a message that he wants to get across to you, although it has been some time. It has been, I think, a few years at least that he's been gone. He wants you to know that when you do see each other again, it will be like this for him. But, there's no rush because time isn't the same as it is here. So do know that he's waiting for you and he will see you at some point. But there's no rush. That's not going to be for a long, 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 long time. That being said, he wants you to enjoy yourself. So don't think of it as, oh, I have so much time left. What am I going to do without him? That kind of thing. It's been very hard. But he wants you to know to enjoy yourself as much as possible. And you can enjoy yourself. Get out and play. That's what he would do. And that's what he would do. That's basically what he's saying. You know how he would want you to act, because it would be the same if you had passed. He knows that you would have wanted him to continue on with life and enjoy life. Sports were, athleticism was important for him, and maybe for you as well. But just general play, get out there and put yourself out there and enjoy. I'm looking at this third column here with conflict, appearance, and active love, self-preservation. He knows that he may not have always been easy to live with, and I think that's what he's trying to tell you here. In fact, you might have had competition, or you felt like you had competition. He wasn't always there for you in some way. That could have been, the military was his life, or that he was just always away, and that sort of had to take precedence over you, or you felt like that. So you felt like you were in competition, and he wants you to know that no, you never were, but things were much different on Earth than what he sees life to be now, and that's almost a regret that, he wished he had spent more time with you. And that's where that time card is in here too. Like he knows that you'll be together again, but he wished he had have used his time more wisely. And he wished he would have played with you more often. So that self-preservation, he knows that you have gone through hard times. I've covered this card before in my previous videos. Look at her. She's going through a windstorm. She's holding herself off from this like sandstorm, basically. If I think about maybe where he was in the Middle East, the sand blowing in his face, you may feel like you're in your own sandstorm as at times. So that's what he's showing here, that he knows that you're going to be going through that, and of course he'll be there watching over you, and just to be aware that you are watched over and that he loves you. Well, this was more of a melancholy reading, and of course they can be, that's for sure. We miss our loved ones, especially around the holidays. So I know Easter is coming up, and that's something that might be on your mind while you're thinking about and preparing and trying to see how you can make this holiday time into a beautiful family gathering. So just know that he is here with you. You've still got that love in your heart, and as well as your family. So I hope you have enjoyed this reading and that you feel it inside and know that he is there for you. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you very soon. Good night.